Muy buenas tardes a todas las personas que están conectadas en este momento. Mi nombre es Camila Flores, yo hago parte del equipo de Consejería Académica y Relaciones Internacionales y hoy estaremos realizando un webinar acerca de University of Auckland. Nos acompaña Marcelo, quien estará realizando la presentación y quería recordarles que durante esta presentación pueden hacer cualquier pregunta que tengan acerca de la universidad y estas serán respondidas al finalizar. Marcelo, thank you so much for being here. You can now start the presentation.
Thank you, Camila. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining me for this session. I'll just share my screen and we'll get started in a couple of seconds. All right, I should say kia ora for those who are familiar with Te Reo Māori. That's our second language in New Zealand. In New Zealand, we speak English, Te Reo Māori, and sign language. These are the three official languages from our country here in New Zealand. So my presentation will be entirely in English. I can speak and understand Spanish because I'm originally from Brazil, but I'm sure your English is better than my Spanish. So let's carry on with English if that's okay. So today we'll be talking about the University of Auckland, and this is really a great opportunity, and I'd like to thank CoFuturo for the opportunity. We've been partnering with CoFuturo for many years, and it's been a great partnership, I do recommend you to consider options going through CoFuturo for funding for your studies. All right, so my name is Marcelo Credidio. I work as international manager here at the University of Auckland. So I particularly work at the business school, but I'm also associated with the international office, and I do have knowledge across the university. So I hope I can help you with questions today questions that go beyond our business school, and I should be able to help you with most of your questions. The plan today is for me to give you an overview of why New Zealand. I know at this stage you're considering your postgraduate studies in the many great countries that CoFuturo works with, but I do want to highlight, what is great about New Zealand and why I think you should choose New Zealand. I will give you an overview about the University of Auckland as well. We'll talk particularly about PhD, about doctoral studies. I'll touch on masters as well, but I'll try to give you a bit more details about PhD. And finally, I'll talk about the financial support and scholarship options for Colombian students. Okay, so let's see if I can cover all that within 20 and now probably 18 minutes, and then we can have time for questions. First, talking about New Zealand, quite often people, when I travel and I meet people and people ask me, oh, so New Zealand, oh yeah, it's close to Australia. So it's pretty much the same than Australia, isn't it? And in fact, it's very different. I lived in Australia for a few years in the past, and I'm very familiar with our friends across the Tasman. But New Zealand is quite different, I think, from Australia, and not because of our nature or our geography, but actually because of our values, the values that the New Zealand society carries. And I'd like to highlight that to you. So we have kaitiaki. It's a Maori language, a Maori word that relates to the meaning that we are the guardians of people, the place, and the planet. And that's something that every New Zealander feels like. We all feel that the public space is our space. It's not no one's space. So everyone looks after the public space, look after the environment, and the people in our communities, right? Ingenuity is another important value that we carry, and it's our spirit of exploration, adventure, creativity, that is all really present. And I'll show you why. Integrity, we do what we say we do, and we see this a lot and how people behave in the society. But just to give you a few facts to support what I'm saying about kaitiaki, the care of people and place. So just a few facts and a few rankings. New Zealand is the second out of 149 economies for prosperity. So it's the second most prosperous country in the world. It's also the third in the world for human rights, which shows the care for the people. And second in the world for peacefulness. And you can see the sources for all this, all think tanks and important institutions that classify all the countries in the world. For ingenuity, a few facts. We were every year we are ranked either first or second out of 190 economies for the ease of doing business. So we are the easiest country in the world to do business, to set up a company, to get the legal advice and everything. This is really, you can set up a company in half an hour online and really start a business. So it's fantastic. We're also the fifth country in Asia Pacific for innovation, according to INSEAD Business School, one of their index, the Global Innovation Index. And we're the third in the world for global creativity. Again, very interesting to see the innovation that happens here. And finally, when I talk about integrity, it's not just a buzzword. We are the #1 in the world for corruption transparency. So probably the least country in the world for corruption. And we know from as a Latin American, origin from Latin America, we know how critical this is for our societies, for our countries. So it's really great achievement for New Zealand to be at the top for this, for transparency. And also #1 for government budget transparency. Right now, if you go online, you can really have access to all the information that you need, all the budget, all the expenditure, everything that the government spends is openly available and easy to access for any citizen. So the transparency helps you to trust in the government, and that obviously creates a lot of good synergies in the society. And finally, we are the third in the world for economic freedom, which is another fact that shows how the integrity is something present here. All right, so now talking about the university, and I'll give you now an overview to talk to you about just the key facts. The University of Auckland is the largest university in New Zealand, and it would be really hard to cover all subjects, all areas. So here's just an idea to give you just this quick overview and then show you how you can find more information. We're in Auckland. Auckland is the largest city in New Zealand. It's home to 1.5 million people. It's not the capital though. The capital of New Zealand is Wellington, okay? But Auckland is the largest city, and it's also the business, the commercial hub of New Zealand. The photo that you see there shows the city center. You can see the Sky Tower in the middle. The photo there and the buildings, that is really the center of the city center. And everything that you see within this white line, it's actually the University of Auckland campus. So it's quite interesting to see buildings surrounding our campus, and then you see the greens in our campus. And that's because the university is very old, was established in 1883. So, the city eventually grew around the campus. So it's very conveniently located, only 15 minutes walk, and you are down to Queen Street, the center of the city center, and you have access to everything that you need. Also, if you think about accommodation, we do have our dorms, our accommodation halls, student halls on campus, which makes it very convenient. And if you want to stay on campus, very easy to just walk. Then you don't need buses. And you have the city as well. So really, really nice. A few more facts about our university. So we are ranked first in New Zealand. We're the #1 university in New Zealand. And in the world, according to the QS World University Rankings, we are currently in the 81st position. So with 81 in the world. So we're in the top 100 universities in the world, which is a great achievement. And every year we get better in this position. Last year we were 83, and this year 81, in a very competitive environment. So that's a great achievement for our university. We have about 42,000 students in our university. So it's, as I said, a large university with 8,000 of them being international, including many Latin Americans, but not that many. So it's last time that we run that I was checking numbers, we have about 100. Oh, just a bit over 100 Colombian students currently studying with us. So definitely not many, considering that we have 42,000 students, okay? We are considered the most innovative university in New Zealand, based on the Reuters top 75 universities. And we are the highest ranked university in New Zealand for graduate employability. So if you think of working, getting a job after you graduate, we are the top university for that criteria as well. But there's one particular ranking that I'd like to highlight, which is the Times Higher Education University Impact Rankings. This is the Sustainable Impact Rankings, and it shows basically the contribution, it measures the contribution that universities around the world make for sustainability and sustainable impact. That's based on research and based on what we teach, and the contribution to society. And the University of Auckland was ranked #1 in the world for sustainability, and also #1 this year in 2020. So we are really at the top of that range, and it's really another great achievement for us, and the contribution that we make to the world and to achieving the SDGs. All right, I'm going to show you now a quick video just to give you a live overview of the university, so you'll get a better sense of where we are at. I'll just switch screens here. There we go. That's Auckland. And our campus. This is the business school. Faculty of Science, the clock tower. And we talk a lot about innovation and entrepreneurship here. We make science to work for society. There we go. I hope that video gave you a little bit of a sense of the kind of innovation that we are developing here. This video is not very new. It's probably now about 1 or 2 years old. There's a lot more going on, but it's really just a summary of a few of the research that is done here. The university is basically divided in 8 faculties, and we have over 200 programs from undergraduate to postgraduate level including doctoral. So over 50 different subjects that you can study. You can do your doctoral degree with us. Across the 8 faculties, as you can see on this slide, we have the Faculty of Arts, where you basically, what you see on the slide is really just a few subject areas. For example, Faculty of Arts, there are over 40 different subject areas. So this is just some examples: language, politics, development studies, history. At the business school where I worked, the Faculty of Business and Economics, obviously accounting, finance, management, international business, but a lot more. And then we have the Faculty of Creative Arts and Industries, where we have our architecture, urban planning, fine arts, music, design, and that kind of creative industries. Education and social work is one faculty. At this faculty, apart from social work, within education, educational leadership, teaching, all the teaching at all different levels, and applied linguistics. Our Faculty of Engineering is also the #1 Faculty of Engineering in New Zealand, with so many different areas, but I highlighted here civil, structural, mechanic, energy, particularly in renewable energy and geothermal energy. We do have a lot of research in that space. You can study across our faculties. You can study, when thinking of at master's level, you can study taught masters, which are professional masters, or you can study research masters. We are a research-led university, but that doesn't mean that every master's is a research master's. If you're looking at a master's degree to upskill, in your career, definitely that will be something for you. Okay, so you find on our website, across the website, research masters and taught masters. So make sure that you check your options under each faculty and under each subject area. Okay, our Faculty of Medical and Health Science, that's our medical school. In New Zealand, we have 2 medical schools. One is here with us. The other one is with the University of Otago in the South Island. And finally, the Faculty of Science, which is the largest faculty in our university. And in the Faculty of Science, you will be able to find research centers, departments across areas like statistics, mathematics, chemistry, physics, but also natural science. You'll find environment, and also all the IT area like computer science, information technology, that is all also hosted by our Faculty of Science. Okay, what I do recommend you, it's because we are such a large university, probably when you think about your area of interest, it's very likely that we do teach and we do deliver programs in your field. There are only a few areas that we don't. For example, dentistry, we don't. Physiotherapy, we don't. And a few others, but most of the areas you find that we have a department and we have programs. So my advice to you is to check your study option on this website that you find at the bottom of the slide. But if you don't need to write the link, you can, if you just Google University of Auckland study options on Google, you will find, you'll come straight to this page, and that's where you can filter and find the link to the different programs. Okay. People ask me, oh, but what the university is good at? It's hard to answer. Our position as the 81 in the world. Here is another ranking, is the ranking by subject, where you can find the areas that we definitely strive in the top 50. So you can see archaeology, pharmacy and pharmacology, education, 27th in the world, sport-related studies, geography, performing arts, all these. Our Faculty of Engineering, I mentioned before, so for engineering, civil and structural, 39 in the world, which is quite an amazing position. But you can see psychology, nursing, law, all in the top 50. And then if we go to the top 100 or top 150, then there's just too many. I won't go through that, but you can assume that most of the areas we are in the top 100 in the world. Okay. One thing that makes us also quite attractive for postgraduate studies, and particularly for research, is our connections. So we are part of 3 consortia of universities, APRU, Universitas 21, and WUN. And these 3 organizations, they congregate the top universities in the world. And that means that by studying with us, you have access to peers across the top universities in the world. It's possible for you to do joint research. We have cooperation agreements. We are working on currently working in many different research projects across different areas with these universities. And our students have access to that, which is fantastic. When thinking about doing your PhD study with us, just quickly highlight, PhD in New Zealand, it's a 3 years of study full-time, not 4, not 5, it's only 3 years. It's entirely research-based. That means that you don't have courses preparing you for research. You come and you work on your research, you work with your supervisor, okay? Different than other countries. And that means also that you need to come with a research background. Your master's, before coming to your PhD, must include sufficient research, okay? While you're studying, you can work full-time. You have rights to work while you're studying your PhD. You can bring your partner, your spouse, to be with you, and your spouse will be on a work visa as well. And your dependent children, your children at school age, will be studying for free in our schools, just as a domestic student, just as like my children here, for example. So it's really that makes we try not to use this word, but it makes, in fact, it makes a nice package for families, for people thinking of coming for a PhD. Okay, and once you graduate, you have access to a post-study work visa of 3 years to stay in New Zealand working for those 3 years. And I know for a fact that Colfuturo, students coming through Colfuturo with Crédito Beca, they now can stay for those 3 years to work during that time. I won't go into the detail here, but just want to highlight that on our website, there's a lot of information, but if you search for a doctoral application, you'll find this page with step-by-step what you need to do to apply. So it's very, very simple. As long as you follow the instructions there, you should be fine to apply by yourself, okay? Tuition fees, that's another, another very important fact for us here. When you think about funding your studies and looking for scholarships, for loan, it's good for you to know that the New Zealand government actually funds international students for their PhD program. So you only pay if you're accepted by a New Zealand university, accepted by the University of Auckland. You will be accepted as a domestic student, and that means that you are already receiving 80% of funds that comes to the university, and you only pay the domestic fees. Okay, that makes, just to give you an idea, a PhD fee currently it's about 7,000 New Zealand dollars, which makes, I converted today, less than 5,000 US dollars per year. So if you're thinking about 3 years of a PhD, it costs will only cost 15,000 US dollars. Okay, so that is, I think, fantastic for you. Obviously, you have living costs, and then you will consider that. Here, I just put a figure. Students spend for living between 20 to 30,000 New Zealand dollars per year. Okay, New Zealand dollars a lot lower than US dollars, but you can calculate that and see what that means to you. Financial support for Colombian students. So we are here with Colfuturo, and obviously that means that you are entitled to use your Crédito Beca for your studies with us under Colfuturo policies. But also we have additional things for you. So if your looking for preparing and studying English for, to prepare you for university, we have 15 scholarships per year of 30% off from your English language program for the English Foundation program. And that is available for Colfuturo students, okay? And then we have also the fees bursary, Colfuturo University of Auckland fees bursary, which is for the Semileros de Talento. So if you are part of that program, you can also, you'll be entitled to apply for this scholarship as well, which is then a full scholarship. Other scholarships here available. I just want to highlight very briefly. We don't have much time. I want to make sure that I answer questions with you. So doctoral scholarships are available. We have the New Zealand government scholarship, which is called New Zealand Scholarship Program. And you can also find more details online. That is a full scholarship, includes living expenses, and it pays for your tuition fees and everything else. It's managed by the New Zealand government, so by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, and you need to find that information on their website. But it's very easy if you Google search using that name, you'll be able to find. But we have also our own doctoral scholarship, the University of Auckland doctoral scholarship, based on merit, based on your achievements as a scholar, as a student, and basically your grades from your master's degree, okay? That is also a full scholarship plus a 27,000 stipend for you to live for the 3 years, per year for you to live in New Zealand. And basically, if you have very good, if you're an A student, you have very good grades coming for your doctoral, you have good chances of getting that scholarship, okay? Other postgraduate scholarships, just to highlight, for master's students, we have the University of Auckland International Student Excellence Scholarship. That is a $10,000 scholarship for taught masters and postgraduate diploma students, okay? But we also have a research master's scholarship similar to that. So depending on if you're doing a taught master or a research master's, there will be a scholarship. It's not a full scholarship, it will be 10 or 13,000 New Zealand dollars, but it's something that helps you to pay, considering that most of the masters will be 18 months, maybe 1 year, 18 months. That definitely helps. And if you're coming to study business masters, we have a specific scholarship for business masters, which is up to $30,000. Okay, and that is a taught masters again. So, but it's a more generous scholarship for that one. All these scholarships based on merit, based on your academic achievements. Okay, so you have high grades, a high GPA. When we convert your GPA to our scale, then you have good chances of getting this scholarship. For more information here, I just leave the international student page. But here I just put this so I remember to show you something. Let me just go quickly to here. And I just want to show you what you find. This is the international page under our website where you find, webinar series, all the events. Oops.
I think that a lot of people tend to focus on the practice of teaching.
I'll just close this one. And what I want to show you is whenever you come to this page, you find chat to our students, okay? This is not a chat bot. These are students, student ambassadors. I'll click on here. So if you heard from me, obviously I'm a staff from the University of Auckland. But if you're thinking of how can I hear, how can I know, can I connect to a student that is currently there? How can I learn from a student what the experiences looks like? We have this amazing initiative now called TAP, well, it's basically our student ambassadors. And you can actually find their profiles here, and you can connect with them through this platform. So chat to me. and you can see when they were last online, and you can really talk to them and engage with them. And you can also see their stories. They share content here. It's a team of ambassadors that share content, and they are available to chat with our students. So they partner with us, with our team and international office, to help and give you a sense of that. So I do recommend you to come and check that link when I mentioned here, chat to our students, and then you'll find this page where you can find how to contact them. Okay. All right, that's our part here. It's now, we've been 30 minutes in total, the session, and I just want to see if we can cover some questions. I'll stop sharing my screen. Let's see if I can help.
Thank you so much. Thank you for doing the presentation. We will now be doing the questions. We have quite a few, so I'll start now. The first one is from Daniela, and she says, "Good afternoon. I would like to know about the requirements to be approved in a master program in the area of education. Can I apply without work experience?"
Right, perfect. So thank you for the question. I should mention that most of the masters, they will require previous study in the same field. But we do have some masters that are what we call conversion masters. And in that case, you could come from different areas to study, okay? In particular for education, if she has studied education as an undergraduate, part of her bachelor degree, then she would come for the Master of Education. And there are different master options there, okay? For example, there's the Master of Educational Leadership, which will require work experience. But if she's coming for planning to do a research master's, then not necessarily you would need, the work experience is not a critical factor, so she could apply coming from that. And also sometimes people think of masters as if you think of upskilling or to be able to teach in New Zealand, then the program is called the Graduate Diploma in Teaching. That is the program that is required for you to teach in New Zealand. So if you want to come and become a teacher in New Zealand, then you should go for the graduate diploma in teaching. Okay.
Great. The next question is from Ivan, and he says, "Good afternoon, Marcelo. I'm very keen on a doctoral program. However, in my case, I have already finished my master's degree. I already have the resolution of approval for my thesis, but I am still in the process to get my master's diploma. I also have published articles and research experience. Can I apply and access a PhD program under these conditions? Thanks."
Yes, so that's great that what you're showing me there is that you have done research. So sometimes we come to a question, some masters, some institutions, they don't have sufficient research and they're more like a taught masters. In this case, from what I can see, it is a research masters because you've been publishing, you've been working on a thesis and all that. So it looks like your masters would qualify for the PhD. I just didn't get the question about the timing. Apparently, so you're waiting. It's probably the student is in the final stage of getting, graded and finished with the masters. So if that's right, no problem. Most important here for us is making sure that your master's is understood by the University of Auckland as a research master's, and in that case you would qualify for that. Obviously you have the grade requirements, a GPE 5.5 out of 9. The scale in New Zealand is 0 to 9. So we convert your grade. There's a tool to convert grades, and I can show you if that's interesting, and what is your grade in our scale. Okay.
That's great. Maybe if you have any links I can send through the chat,
yes,
that would be useful.
Good idea. I'll do that. The GPE calculator.
For sure. While you look for that, I'll be asking the next question, and it's from Edwin, and he says, "I'm applying to a doctoral studies, but I don't understand how should I translate my master's degree diploma. The Hague stamp is right?"
Yes. So just to confirm that, so you're talking about translating the thesis, or or the documents?
I think it says master's degree diploma.
The diploma. So it's actual the diploma. Yeah. So you need it will be important to translate that with a recognized translator, and there are some specific, some official how do you call that? Probably you have a name that in Spanish for the official translator to translate that and then get that stamped and then submitted. But we will need the translation and the original as well. I mean, I'm talking about scanned, not the original. You don't need to send by mail. Everything is online. Everything is submitted online. But we need to see the Spanish version and the English version translated by an official translator.
That's great. Thank you. Did you? Oh yeah, you already sent the link. Thank you. So the next question is from Mauricio, and he's asking, are there any energy-related master's or postgraduate diplomas? How long would it take to study one of those?
Perfect. Yes, we have a fantastic program called the Master of Energy. It's delivered by the Faculty of Engineering. It's a very popular master's, and it combines areas across the energy field. So energy, not only seen from the science or the engineering, but also from the economic perspective. So this master's allows students from different fields, IT, engineering, science, business, to come together for this. And you can choose courses to customize your Master of Energy in the field that you want. So some students want to do renewable energy or aeolic wind energy, then that's fine, or geothermal, that's fine. So there are so many courses to choose to combine and to make your master. So I definitely search for the Master of Energy, University of Auckland. If you Google search that, you go straight to the program page. It's a great program, and it's 1 year duration.
I'll be sending the link in a moment while I'll be asking the next question. And it's, good afternoon, Marcelo. I wonder if I have a conditional admission, can I apply to any scholarship?
You need to be fully accepted. You need a firm offer in order to qualify for the scholarship to apply. So conditional is not sufficient. Okay.
That's fine. The next question is from Andrea, and she says, I would like to know if you have any master degree related with environment and sustainability. My area is economics. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So coming from economics, we do have, but normally that will require like a kind of a science background. I would need to check that to see if because it would be a Master of Science in environmental science. Yeah, that will require science background. With economics background, it doesn't come to my mind. I would have to check with the Faculty of Science to see if any of their programs can do. So I'm happy to follow up on that one, Camila. I'm not sure how we can do that, but just if we have the chat, text later, I can follow up.
Yeah, if you can send the email where we can contact you.
Yes, what I'll do, I'll put Lee. Yeah, International Manager for Science.
For sure. For the next, okay.
So I've just sent Miss Li Xie, International Manager for Science. She will. She's the best contact to find out about that.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next question is from Leonardo, and he says, "Hi, Marcelo. Thank you for the information. That's very useful. I found an interesting PhD program of philosophy in mathematics education in Auckland University, but I have a question with the acceptance and the specific requirements, such as bachelor's honors and academic merits, and how is the admission process?"
All right. So for all PhD, you will need to demonstrate that you have done sufficient research. So The question there, you mentioned the honors degree. Is that what he found? Because there are two ways of come. Either if you're a University of Auckland student, you can come, if you could complete a bachelor honors, which is a research pathway from your bachelor to directly to PhD, or you would need to complete a research master's. Not sure if he's asking if he's done honors degree, or if he's just checking, if that is an option. Can you just confirm the question again?
Yeah, I'll be reading again the question, but I think that's all he's asking.
Okay.
He says, but I have a question with the acceptance and the specifics requirements, such as bachelor's honors and academic merits.
Right. So, yeah, the requirement is really normally for a student coming from Colombia, considering that you've done already your bachelor, you would need the master's. And that could be done obviously in Colombia, a research master's, or you could come to a master's with us and then do your PhD with us. If you do your master's with us, the advantage is for the good, if you're a good student, if you achieve GPA 8 or above, you have a guaranteed scholarship, doctoral scholarship. So you have that chance of having a guaranteed scholarship for doctoral if you complete the master's with us. So that's just something to consider if you are still to do your master's. But you could do that in Colombia as well, and then you would go through the normal process.
Okay, thank you. The next question is from Ricardo, and he says, hi, I would like to know if you have any master degree related with arts and cultural management. Thank you.
All right, well, cultural management, that's a good question. I haven't heard particularly about cultural management. It's definitely, we have in the Faculty of Arts, we had the Master of Arts, and I wonder if what you're planning would fall more under fine arts, because it could be under fine arts. Again, we would need probably to check. I probably don't know exactly. We need to understand more what you're after, and then go into that detail with the department. So what I'll do, I'll just pop in my email for a follow-up on that question, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. The next one is from Carolina, and she says, good afternoon. I would like to know if for master program, my partner could have work permit too as PhD studies. Thank you.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Yeah, of course. The next one is from Carolina, and she says, I would like to know if for a master's program, my partner could have a work permit too as a PhD studies.
As the PhD. Yes, the answer is yes. For masters, for partners of masters students can also come and apply for a work visa and come as a partner of a student visa, but that's only for masters and PhD, okay, not for postgraduate diploma. But yes, the answer is yes. What the difference between the status as a master's student as a PhD student is that the PhD student could have the kids also coming and studying as domestic students. Master's students, based on the student visa, you don't get that benefit, but you do get the benefit of the partner coming on a work visa, okay?
Okay, that's awesome. The next one is, are there any master program related with geology?
Definitely, yes, geology. Definitely on the Faculty of Science, we do have, it's under the Department of Earth Science in our Faculty of Science, but that would be basically the Master of Science, and then with the specialization in geology and earth science. So definitely, that's a 2-year program. If you're coming from your undergrad, like a bachelor, then you would do 2 years. The first year is more like coursework, and the second year is the research, is the thesis, okay? Master of Science, and then choose the specialization.
Okay. Marcelo, thank you so much for being here. If you have any further questions, you can contact Marcelo. I will be resending his email through our chat, or maybe if you can show your slide where you have your email address, they can contact you for any further doubts.
Lovely. Thank you so much. I see that, we have more questions. Yeah, happy to receive your questions by email. And if that's not from my area, I'll happily forward that to the relevant people in the university to answer. Okay?
For sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Camila. It was a pleasure to be with you. Happy to join you, in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe if you, before going, can show again the slide, especially for the people that are going to be seeing the video through YouTube channel, so they can see your email.
Yes. So, sorry, which slide would you like to see?
The slide where you show your name and your email address, where they can contact you.
Yes. So I don't think I have. I'll do that. Yeah. Just give me 1 second.
There's no rush.
In one way or another, we'll do that.
For sure.
Might be that my email was not there, but I'll put that right away.
No problem. That is perfect. Thank you so very much.
All right.
Muchas gracias a todas las personas que se conectaron el día de hoy. Y también si tienen alguna otra pregunta acerca de la Universidad de Auckland, pueden ponerse en contacto con Marcelo al correo que encuentran en pantalla. Efectivamente, vamos a estar enviando este webinar a sus correos, y también este video lo van a poder encontrar en nuestro canal de YouTube en los próximos días. Marcelo, again, thank you so much for being here and have a very nice day.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Hope to see you in Auckland. Bye.